What am I up against? The card draw? No, I'm up against that thing. Okay. Oh boy. Alright, well, first game, I'm already interested in taking out the village. No surprise there. Honestly, I might genuinely take this card out. There's so few counter spells in this thing. So I'm gonna do this now, so that way I don't, like, lose incredibly fast. I don't like my situation here. Whenever a creature with a counter on it dies. Okay. So, Tatyova? Alright. It's not doing much here, but it's looking at him. Played a 5-minute 3/3. Behold. Do I even block this? Nah. I don't even care. If you have some goofy combat trick, congratulations. Okay, they had something, but it wasn't what I expected it to be. Another island is fine. I'm so glad I got this forest. Alright, we have giant stats. We made it to the stats. Is it enough? If I untap, things get way more difficult for my opponent. Block there. Not dead. It's one of the best cards they could have had, though. So, here? Like that? I have to do this? Why is it not letting me block? Okay, there we go. I have to do that. They do not save it. They could have saved it. This has reach. Oh, that doesn't matter. They all lose flying next turn. So let's play a land. Let's kill the card that's killing us. They're back on the ground. Start playing chump blockers. Leave up my... Oh, I should have tapped the heirloom for that. That was a mistake. Fortunately, not a game-ending mistake, but it's still a mistake. Okay. Notably not dead. I have to double block. So I'll force off the Zac here. Which I think is better for me. Opponent agrees, so they do not do it. Tragic. Huh. I would not have put them there. Suppose it's about the same, though. Alright, they just had that. That doesn't have reach or anything. I could play one reach, block, still die. I'm dead in the air, so I have to do something. If I play this, I don't have any mana for that. Is there a way to stay alive? I cannot play my commander, I will die. Actually, I think I'm always dead, so I have to find something. And I don't know if I can kick this and still stay alive. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I use all my mana. Summon Spaghetti. Does that do it? Can I cast it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Can't do that. Nothing in the graveyard matters. Witness Protection brings one of them down. Doesn't do enough. Okay, what if I did this? Let me just make sure I can't do it for 2. Yeah, I can't do it for 2, so... This might be enough? Because I can just block and stay alive. And I can even swing here. They'll just take it, though, but... If I start to attempt at actually closing the game out, I might get somewhere, so... But I just notably... This also sets up potential lethal next turn. This is an argument I didn't have to swing there, but I do have to actually win the game at some point, so... I have to block both the flyers. And then... here, so their commander stays... stuck. Okay, that notably doesn't get through. I probably would have put the counters on a flyer. They would have just had a lethal flyer. A little strange there, I feel. Just a little strange. Again, I need to use this for mana instead of card draw. I don't need to activate the Pride and draw a bunch. Are they dead? It's literally one off. Now it's lethal? Did I win this? They have nothing. We're getting in there with the lethal? That is... It's great. That's great. It was actually 1 over lethal because it gives +1/+0 on the ability. Oh man, yeah, so I guess that attack was actually a really good idea. That was a crazy game. Wow. I think my opponent had to swing, because if they didn't, they're just going to start losing. Like, it's not getting better. So I think I would probably try to make something of it there as well. I can name... anything I want, ever. Doesn't matter. Yeah, let's play this. So, you. Alright. Mono green ignores you. Love it. Love it. So we can notably not deal with this. Wait, what does this do? Okay. Let's name Cat. No, I guess I'll name Druid. Do I... Okay. I'm gonna just assume this is the best thing to do. This is the first time since playing Standard that Cavern Souls actually mattered. Alright, I am most assuredly ahead here for a myriad of reasons. Let's swing. I can actually River's Rebuke here, and it's not game-winning, but it slows my opponent down quite significantly, so I will. Looks like they're just over it. Oh, maybe not. Seemed like they might have been. Like, I don't care if you recast your commander, it's not doing anything. It actually just chumps block. It just chump blocks and just like... I kind of want to just have this resolve because it's funny. I have no idea what they could possibly put into play that I care about. Bow of Nylea, but you're playing Grixis. What are you doing? Okay, none of this is reliable, but I'm on the play, and this is fine. I don't know what I would really be looking for, other than, like, Arcane Signet. Huh. Okay. I'd rather not find an... Actually, we can just find an island. I don't have to play this on turn 3. For, like, any reason at all. Looks like there's a counter spell. Kind of annoying. Could be a removal spell as well. Yeah, let's just get an island. I survive counter spells, so I just keep casting things until something happens. Okay, they notably do not have mana to just cast the World Wagon here. There was an argument to not cast World Wagon. I had forgot Tiny Bones has text on it, so that was probably a mistake. Maybe didn't want to do that. But here we are. Well, a little too late for that. I am not going to just get Cavern of Souls. I'm not going to do that. Oh, come on. Don't have anything. Okay. I was like, is this a balance spell? Am I screwed? Shambles? I don't care about that. If Tiny Bones spends a bunch of mana to steal a ramp spell, I feel like I don't care. I am losing, though. I don't even think they can cast the World Wagon. That feels maybe just like not a good idea. I could be wrong. Opponent agrees. Looks like I'm right. They just can't do it. They'll just probably lose the game. Alright, so we can play this and then leave up Archdruid's Charm? Yep. Hopefully it does something. I'm not really scared about Malcolm because it can't cast any giant busted stuff. But it's still just card draw and selection and stuff. Opponent's just going to be playing with, like, efficient answers the whole game. Alright, well, they're making it blatantly obvious they have a, at least a 2-mana counter spell. Because, like, why would you not take the World Wagon? Let's do this. I have an uncounterable threat in the form of this thing. I can cast it? So... hilarity ensues? Giant combo? I haven't played it before. I think this is the first time I've ever windmill slammed this card. It would be ideal if it actually did something, but I'm going to argue that's not very likely. Cavernous Soul's showing up at the bitter end, it seems. I don't regret my decision, though. Really? You don't swing with Tiny Bones? Wow. That's crazy. So you just can't deal with this? That's insane. I just find that hard to believe. Sure. How many... You make 4 3/3s. Is that even good? I should play this before I do anything else, because this is by far like the best time to cast it, I would say. So I can activate its ability whenever I want, which means I could actually draw 12 cards here, which is disgusting. Pride coming in ridiculously clutch once more. Man, that is gross. The Pride has been, like, too good to make sense so far. This is just great. What could you possibly have that targets this? Just the Desperation Stifle. Oh, we love to see it. Alright, I mean, I lost the card thing, but look where we are. It's just not as bad as it was a second ago. You? Yeah, you're just a better idea, I think. I don't know what Linear is doing instead, so that's fine. Alright, Cavernous Soul's the last land. Love to see it. Of course it is. I can doppelgang 1, 2... If I find a land, I can do it 3 times, but even twice is just really good here, I think. Right, I mean, at least it would give me infinite mana. I can actually copy Omen Path and get all the lands out of my deck. I could just simply copy lands. Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Really. Whatever. Yeah, I also lose Cavernous Souls. That's ridiculous. Stupid. Alright, so I can copy something 3. I can do it for 3. So the land. I can go boom, boom, boom. You. So I have enough mana to do stuff after I do this, and then I can cast, or I can copy Random Flyer? That's fine. I like that. I like that. And then we can play this. Alright, so I have blockers in the air, which was the main idea here. So I don't get hit by Malcolm and it casts free things, but didn't expect River's Rebuke from this deck. I can also block the Beastbinder. Each player sacks 5 creatures. Okay, well, I don't have any choices. I Ideally, Malcolm doesn't just cheat in another giant explosive card, but again, this deck doesn't just play a bunch of them. Okay, well, Ghost Vacuum doesn't really do much in this matchup. Well, I mean, it kind of can. Incredibly slowly, but I suppose it actually can. So we cast our commander. This thing. This thing. Probably give my opponent perfect information because of the aura board. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to stress over that. They can steal... Well, it would just be a 1-1, but I guess they could take Hama if they wanted to make their own or something. Double removal is a problem. Of course, double removal probably is the situation. Why wouldn't it be? Could still have double removal. Oh my goodness. That was just so gross. Alright, so... Whoop. Sometimes you just draw the best thing in your deck and you win. Alright. Love to see it. They knew I top decked that too. They knew I top decked it. Because they knew my hand. Oh, the Aura just broke in half as well. Because it doubles your power, right? Yeah, I guess you could Training Grounds it. Usually not a big deal though. Pride can just have a bajillion mana. It's pretty easy. I don't think I played any of the discount ability cards in Historic. Do I? No. I noticed a lot of people have Bristly Bill on turn 2. This happens extremely often. I don't know what that's about. Okay. Well, I kind of have to stop that one, lest I lose to it. Yeah, I've heard Heirloom in here. Perfect fetch land on Volcanic turn. Love to see it. So consult the star charts for I don't know what it's looking for, but I'm definitely going to cast it. I guess I just put this into my hand. Alright, Commander... Vaultborn Tyrant's probably just better here? It's also better on curve. Yeah, this is probably slightly better in this exact spot. Okay, if I knew I was going to draw Lena Rails, maybe that's not quite true, but I didn't know that. There is no way you trade... Wow! Okay. I'm never doing this. Never, ever, ever doing this, but okay. Tannic is still concerning, but... Alright. That's what my opponent did. So... You... I will swing with this. If I draw a land, I can... Alright, I did not draw a land. Oh, right! Graveyard! I forgot. I haven't actually got a land out of the graveyard yet. For Gore. So, more creatures. I could do this. Llanowar Elves. Sets up lethal. Yeah, it sets up lethal. That was the first time I reanimated a land. You think they threw? Well, maybe. Possibly. I couldn't have blocked it forever, in all fairness, Bristlyville. Nothing has trample. So... there is that. We can go to combat first. I won't draw a card, though. But it gives the thing vigilance. Oh, is it lethal with Craterhoof? It might be. But I'm not... I don't want to do math. 12... Wait. You have 4, so 12. $22. No. 22, 23. So 12, 22, 28, 29, 34. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 32. Okay. Oh, there's red mana, though. Oh, maybe I should have done this. Okay, looks like there's nothing. Looks like we're good. They could have killed the Llanowar Elves. That would have been an issue. But they didn't kill it, so... Oh no, they're gonna kill it! No! Alright, yep, it was now wrong. I didn't really try to even consider respecting anything. I'm not dead on the crackback, so, I mean, I'm still going to swing. Alright, love to see that. Looks like we're good anyways. Oh! Oh, it was still lethal. Wait, what? Oh, because this had to tap to cast the red spell. Alright, so they kind of went... They saved themselves, and then it went back and didn't save them. Because they had to tap the blocker. That's really funny. That's really funny, yeah. Alright, so let's say they did block, though. They would be out of cards, and I'm not sure there's anything they could do anyways. So, if I had assessed that, I think I would always go for this. Because the only way to interact is tapping a creature. Unless they have, like, fog or something insane. But, yep. I didn't have to go this route, though. I could have just done something else. There was definitely safer lines, like summon Bahamut or something, but... So close, but I haven't done it. Ha! Love it. Love to see that. That's great. You thought you were gonna stop me. Can't stop the green. Do I? Yep, we play this. Opponent just didn't... Okay, so I can cast my commander, but I can also not cast my commander. But I can also cast my commanders. So I'm going to cast my commander. Took us way longer than I thought to crew this world wagon for the first time. Alright. Opponent has free reign next turn. What do you got? Show me what you can do. I have not played against this commander in Standard. Seems like it's missing some crucial tools that it has in Historic, but we'll see. Alright, yeah, they just simply passed. I can actually just let it do whatever. Like, why do I care about my opponent's commander? I'll swing, and if they trade, we're never upset. Yeah, no One Ring, no Paradox Engine. I don't think they can even trade. I think their entire strategy demands that their commander stays alive. I lied. Celestial Armor. Alright, get Schmied. Oh, opponent, you didn't even wait. What if I didn't have a counterspell? They didn't even see it. What if it was anything else? Yeah, this is Kind of lame. Kind of lame. Like every deck I play, it doesn't matter what I'm playing, it always just winds up being the same scenario. Yep. 1 into 2. And the next turn is probably a 4-mana card. I'll play this still. I mean, they can exile it, but I can't just do nothing. Does Doppelgang give me inevitability? I wonder. You cast a Tali, it didn't work, you got a refund? That's hilarious. Does that do anything? Nope. But it's not doing anything in my hand, so... a land is fine. Really wish I could have played the land last turn, but nope. That is a very strange card to see here, but I guess Ugin can play whenever it wants, doesn't really matter. I wonder if I should play this. Maybe. Maybe. Still just want more mana. I can actually play this and they can't target it. That's kind of hilarious. Alright, yeah, they cannot target it, so... Didn't expect that situation. That also puts real pressure on their... thing there? Their Ugin. But it's not enough pressure. So, I don't think the first instance of damage matters. Which is incredibly annoying, but... Yeah, they can just kill it next turn. I can make a bunch of 3/3s, which they can also probably simply kill. I can smack. I can still smack it. I can draw a bajillion cards, but I don't know what I'm drawing towards that matters, really. What if I drew a billion cards? Doppelgang... Copying... Wait, I'm at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... So I can do it for 2. I can take my own Ugin, but what does that do? It doesn't do anything. My hand doesn't do anything. All the colored permanents just don't do anything. So... let's play this. Yeah, this is standard roll. I really don't think drawing a bunch of cards here matters. One could argue an army of 3/3s is actually better than smacking Ugin. So I'll do that. Okay, they just let me draw 12. I go to 12. Or 11 or whatever. Okay, I found Summon Bahamut. That was kind of an elf I wasn't cognizant of. This is another colored list permanent. Is it better than historic? Well, it's just different. If you like legacy, vintage level power, just play historic. And if you don't play it. Okay, so we need to keep that. The lands are good for Doppelgang, but I guess that doesn't really matter. That doesn't really matter, does it? Like, Vaultborn Tyrant doesn't do anything, so... It's like Doppelgang, summon Bahamut, and then just survive the rest of the things that may or may not happen. I would have actually taken out a 3/3. I can't draw more with that card. No, just kill a 3/3. Yeah, you don't. The land doesn't matter. They also didn't set themselves up for Ugin Ultimate, which is really funny. Do we protect Ugin? Let's find out. Have we played enough permanents to get through this? That's kind of crazy, but might be the case. Okay. I mean, I'm still gonna blow it up. Land and land? I don't lose to their own summon Bahamut. I don't know if Ugin even plays it. So far, it doesn't look like this is the kind of deck that wants to. Oh, the bird can copy summon Bahamut? Oh, I didn't think of that. Oops. Alright, we're down one Bahamut. Tragic. I guess I could have just taken that damage, honestly. I don't even need to draw off this Solemn Simulacrum. It's hard to not do it still, though. It's just, like, always worth losing one life point, I would argue. I would take the 3/3 out. Okay, they don't. They take the food out, which would, I guess, gain life. Sure. I'm still going for the 3/3. I don't think the food matters. Just remove a blocker. Okay. Time to go bananas. Let's blow up the... that, I guess. Almost surprised they didn't just wait a turn. Alright, so we have one... We have 15 mana. 13 mana. So we can do it for 4. One, two, three, because I don't need anything else. Might as well. Look at that. Look, we just vomited enough nonsense in play that we got around infinite exiles. That was not really expected. I was just saying how every time I play against Ugin, it's the exact same. It's probably why all of my videos don't have a lot of Ugin matchups in them, because you just play cards and they cast it, and you either have a way to deal with it, or you don't, and you lose your entire board and you can't play more Magic. But in this game specifically, I just exploded so much nonsense. Really, I think the big thing was the ward, making it so they couldn't target it the first turn there. That was pretty significant. And again, the Pride of Holclad has just been really good. It's just really funny. Well, did you kill Ugin before it showed up, or... I don't know what that means. Of course, yet again. 2 games in a row on the play Llanowar Elves. Opponents are just too powerful. Not meant to win. Well, in this specific scenario, the only thing that does is give them a protection spell, which apparently they just don't have, so we can keep playing the game. Otherwise, we probably would have lost. Alright, Llanowar Elves at its weakest. Each player makes a lander token. Huh. That's kind of nuts. Do you have Mossborn Hydra? Nope. Do I play Mossborn of my own? Probably. The scaling nature of it in this situation is quite useful, I'd say. Especially if they struggle to... Well, I can play this instead. This is kind of the same, right? Because the land would... With the 1/1 counter on the wolf kind of thing. Yeah, it's kind of the same. So... Like, this gets a counter, and then... It's like the same, except they played an extra land. Okay. I mean, fighting the summoned Fenrir is not productive, right? Yeah, this doesn't really... this is gonna die on its own. So... This becomes a 2/4... Okay. I can block there, that's gone. And then I can block there. I would not have put it there, but so be it. Block there, block there. 1, 2, 3, 4, still dead. Block there, there, not dead. There. So I can play this, and then post-combat play Spring Bloom, and I'm not dead. It's the same creature count as my commander, but better for setup, because one of them involves extra mana. So we go through combat first, so that the Mossborn Hydra is ridiculous. This also sets up lethal, if I survive. Yeah, this sets up lethal, I think, so... Or, yeah. This is just slightly better. It's 2 creatures in play, all the same, except 2 attackers can get through, so at a maximum 4 damage gets through. It just depends completely on the card they drew. I can actually deck myself with the Pride, activating on a Mossborn Hydra. We found the Laboratory Maniac tech. I'm dead to Giant Growth, I guess. They cannot saddle. Itch me to... don't think this hand is necessary. This hand needs a green source. If it doesn't get one, we're doomed. I found it. Always had it. Ooh, wow, that's a tough one. Alright, yeah, we're just going to cast this. It's kind of a thing where my opponent has to deal with it immediately. Otherwise, it just runs away with the game, so I'll just play it here. But I could have played Bramble Familiar. Upkeep Scry. Love to see it. Looking for... I don't know. Probably an answer. Don't have it. Stock up is interesting. Let's name Scout. Let's go to combat? Draw a card? Do I spend a turn just leaving up mana to protect this thing? Ooh, maybe now I don't. I don't need it. Yeah, I don't need this card to be alive, and it could backfire. So let's just play more mana. It's really, really good to play lands in this spot, so... And if they have a sweeper or something, it's like... So be it. I would probably have to save it twice, which wouldn't really feel great, honestly. Solemn Golem. Ooh, it's the art I don't have. So I can play my commander, and then lose to a board wipe. Probably not ideal. Also not necessary. Alright. This will kill my opponent next turn. I will draw. And just chill. Let's play this. Okay. I don't really have to play this, but I did, so. Because now I have to, all I have to do is protect it once the game is kind of over. Right, if they have like a sweeper or something, it's over. Whereas last time I'd have to protect it kind of like 2 turns in a row, and that doesn't seem worth it. This is not the case anymore. Oh, it's actually... Now it's not lethal on its own. Okay. If I knew that, maybe I'd play stock up, because protecting this is less interesting. This still is fine, but... Or just leave up Archdruid's Charm instead of Bramble. Yep, there it is. No surprise there. There's also a chance my opponent simply concedes anyways. Okay. So I play Mossborn Hydra. I really think I want to cast stock up. Because we can find a game-winning card here. We did not find it. I think it was worth the attempt. And now I don't have access to that. Another sweeper. There's nothing I can do about a sweeper. So there's no real reason to respect one, in my opinion. It's one off, though. You have to block the 10-10. Oh! Oh, the trample! I forgot about the trample. Oh, man, I forgot about the trample. Alright, so this commander is really good. I suppose that's no surprise. Blue-green in general is just a really solid color combination. Everything this commander wants to do, it can just kind of do it. It can do it multiple times very easily. I didn't even need like flying or evasive threats really to trigger it. You just sort of play it and just do blue-green things. In fact, you don't even really need to trigger it ever. You could just swing with two fairly large things and be fine that way. Obviously, if you are swinging, then you're going to be drawing naturally because you're obviously attacking your opponent. But it doesn't really feel like that's necessary for this card to be really good. But it's there, and it obviously makes it way better. That being said, the card draw in the deck could have probably just been other things. It didn't necessarily feel like I needed a bunch of card draw. Stuff like Tatyova is just a little too expensive for a format where there's like not a ton of fetch lands, and also a format where you can get bludgeoned to death way before you get to 5 mana. And on the flip side, you can play Tatyova and then just not have a land the same turn. And I don't really like Tatyova on a future turn where I already have 5 mana and then you play it. So it just didn't line up too well as a card I liked having in my deck. I think that was what Stock Up replaced. I think I took out Tatyova and just went with this. This feels just better in every way. It shows up earlier. It can't get killed. It gives me more than one card the same turn I cast it. It's just really solid in that way. And the card draw that Tatyova gives me is kind of just showing up at a point in the game where I don't necessarily need that much card draw, if that makes any sense. There's also the argument that a lot of your quote-unquote card draw before your commander shows up is sort of just ramp spells, right? Where Cultivate draws 2 cards just like Divination, except one of them goes right into play immediately for free, and the other is just a guaranteed land, which is always useful. So the green-based ramp spells sort of outweigh the blue-based card draw. The counterspell package surprisingly felt decent. I actually ended up adding more counterspells as I went along and played more. I didn't expect that. Counterspells are just not the greatest here, especially when Cavern is in kind of every single deck, and it's a 60-card format, so this shows up way more often than normal. And again, counterspells in standard aren't really that great. Disdainful Stroke, Negate, Long River's Pull all kind of feel fine. It seems to me that Negate is not as universally good as Disdainful Stroke. You can obviously play both of them. You can play none of them. You are sort of a tap out, do a big mana investment thing kind of deck, so finding windows to leave up mana could be a little annoying. But I did find myself doing it more than I thought, so I actually added more counterspells as I played. The Pride of Wholeclad is really good. I didn't expect that. I don't expect anyone to... Or rather, I should say, I'm not surprised it doesn't see as much play as I think it should. But every time I played this, it was very scary, which surprised me. Especially not being my commander, but every time it showed up, it was terrifying. If you have any kind of thing swinging at your opponent, and ideally your commander's in play by the time you play this, you have 2 attackers actually in this instance, and it doesn't matter if you draw just 5 cards, right? Like, that's just obviously amazing to just activate this to draw 5. So, like, it's always good when it's played, and my opponents sort of agreed. I believe this was killed pretty often when it was played. It also stonewalls basically everything in the format that could swing at you, up to and including Darksteel Colossus, which I actually saw one today for the first time ever. Just the old Darksteel Colossus. It just blocks Darksteel Colossus, right? It's just the biggest thing ever. I mean, you can fly over it and whatnot, but still, that is significant. Same with Craterhoof math. 15 toughness can genuinely stop a Craterhoof from killing you. That this starts to hit that kind of breakpoint. Though, again, Craterhoof doesn't need much help to kill you anyways through something like this, because it's absolutely nuts, but still very, very solid card. And every time I cast it, it was extremely easy to cast it. It was never really dead in my hand, because I suppose the logic would be if this is dead in your hand, then you weren't playing creatures that could let you cast it, so you're probably not playing anything anyways and just losing, right? But I don't quite think it's this, like, win more card. I wouldn't say it's necessary or anything, but I know it was a really interesting card. I gotta say, I was impressed with it. Same with Kama, I was more impressed with this than I thought. Ward 4 is significant. It really, I mean, I really wish it was like Ward 5. That would be a little bit more helpful, but Ward 4 is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's better than I thought it would be, but still, this format's your opponent will have the time to just kill this, and you just feel like you accomplish nothing when they cast, like, murder on this. It's like, oh, well, 7-mana murder. Like, that's possible. People can just easily kill this. It still dies to board wipes. The uncounterable clause, again, in Standard, not really super relevant, but I don't know. River's Rebuke is a little bit better than I've been giving it credit for, but still not by much. I did not feel like I needed this in my deck. It could have just been, really, honestly, any kind of other card that would have been happy with that. This card is just annoying, but there are a lot of exile effects in Standard, so the annoying portion of this kind of gets nullified when there's, like, Ketramos all over the place and whatnot. I actually did not see any Ketramos players, and to be fair, I don't think Ketramos is a devastating matchup to see, so just something to consider. But, like, yeah, I never actually got anything out of this because my opponent had, the one time I played it, just exiled it, which is unfortunate, but if they don't exile it, it is incredibly good, I will say. It's slow to get the value, but still, I mean, you're going to get it eventually. It was every other turn it can block, right? Yeah, so it blocks and draws cards and stuff. Like it, not super necessary. It's not quite there. Ooh, let's drop my thing. It's not quite there like Ouroboros or Mossborn Hydra is when it comes to must answer threats, right? You just set it and forget it, and this will just win the game if left alone. But it's still solid. Again, one of those cards you don't necessarily need. Doppelgang is a card that beats Ugin. So if you don't like the Ugin matchup and you see it all the time, this card is pretty decent at not losing to Ugin. And there's not a lot of, like, you have Summon Bahamut as a way to sort of beat Ugin, kind of. Although they can just sort of survive getting hit by this, and also the double Vindicate. They can just, like, beat this still. But not if you Doppelgang it. so, like, yeah, if you ever have critical mass of mana, this is crazy. You can even copy lands and then have extra mana after you've cast it to do even more things. This card is just really, really good. It's funny. Okay, it's not like good because it is a massive mana investment, but if you're casting it for like 3 or more, usually that's enough to win. I think I still lost doing this for 3 in a game. I think I did. I'll have to go back and look. I'm doing the outro later because my computer exploded. But I think there was a game where I did it for like 9 permanents and still lost, but I can't remember how that game panned out. But either way, it's just solid. Consult is good. The game plan is to play lands, and interestingly enough, there's a surprising amount of times where you just don't kick this, because if you have like 11 lands and you really want to cast something that lets you, like, you want more mana after you find a crucial card in a situation, I found myself maybe just not kicking this sometimes to, like, just have more mana to, like, you get one less card, but that one card is now actually castable maybe, and it just makes things easier or whatnot. It's something to think about, I suppose. But all in all, it's just a solid card. I don't really get many. I think this might be the first time I've ever actually played this. I think. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, I mean, it's a solid card. I don't think it's replacing stock up anytime soon. But they're. I mean, you can only have one of each, you know. Put it in there. But yeah, I like the strategy. It's really nice. Tap lands are still your Achilles heel, and it's one of those things you can just not deal with, right? Like, I think 1 or 2 of the weird, goofy tap lands I had in here, I ended up taking out because they never really did anything, and I'm not really ever color screwed, right? If any of your colors are green, then it's the hardest. You're gonna have the hard time to get color screwed if one of your colors is green. Yeah, there's only 2 color decks, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, tap lands, even in a ramp-based land spam kind of situation, are just something to avoid, in my opinion. They don't. They just never ever outweigh the power of just playing on curve, or oh, if this land was untapped, I could do something way better. It's like, then just play the untapped lands, right? Like, I don't even like Hedge Maze. This probably should come out too. Like, full stop. I really just don't care for this card. We don't have fetch lands to find, like the land types, like the 10 primary fetch lands. So this is just a land that just exists and sometimes does the thing. Same with Fabled Passage. I just don't need these. Like, I don't even have Tatyova anymore. I know I have Landfall for, like, the goofy fetch lands, like Evolving Wilds and stuff, for, like, specifically Mossborn Hydra and whatnot, but, like, it just doesn't... I don't... Or even Reanimating Lands. I actually forgot this even did that. You pull lands out of your graveyard, it's not just playing them from hand. I only found that out because it triggered, and I'm like, oh, I don't have any lands in my hands, and it gave me an option for the graveyard. I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. But again, you really don't need that trigger. You've already displayed 6 mana. You're drawing cards. You don't really need to play the lands, like extra lands. So it wasn't like that big of a deal. But yeah, I really don't advise a bunch of fetch lands for the, haha, I've got lands on my graveyard for this card now. Like, it's just don't play the fetch lands. Your deck is going to be better. Just don't play the fetch lands, please. Yeah, I probably just... the list I upload is just not even going to have Hedge Maze in it. I'm going to be real with you. But yeah, so really solid strategy. I completely... I went like, I don't even know. Today I went like 10-3 or something. Yeah, just a really solid strategy. And yep, so that's what I've got. So let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.